Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens just put his stamp of approval on a collective bargaining agreement with the city's firefighters. It comes after weeks of delays due to questions surrounding the fire union's leadership. Atlanta News First, Yasmina Alston is live at City Hall for us. And Yasmina, what does this mean for the city's firefighters?
Well, Tracy, this contract is a first for the city of Atlanta, and it focuses on things like firefighter pay, equipment, and the overall safety of the men and women who fight fires in this city. A historic moment for Atlanta firefighters as the first collective bargaining agreement was signed on Monday. We got these videos of Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens and Fire Union Local 134 President Alvin Rashad as the deal was done. This contract focuses on firefighter pay, overall safety, equipment, plus more. Back in March, I spoke with an Atlanta Fire Union member who explained why this contract is important for firefighters and for Atlanta's residents.
Quality of life regarding stations, professional development, pay, wages, uniforms. It's a clear contract to have all those things in place.
Mayor Dickens sent Atlanta Fire and Rescue employees a letter last week saying he would sign the contract this week and that the city will continue to invest in their safety and long-term success. We previously reported there was a delay in this signing because of questions from some firefighters surrounding the union's then leadership. At one point, that same leadership was in place when the union filed a lawsuit against the city of Atlanta because the contract hadn't been signed. But Dickens said throughout that he would move forward once the leadership issue was sorted out. And since then, Alvin Rashad was elected the new president and the contract official. In a statement, Mayor Dickens called this a historic moment and noted his administration has made investments in new fire stations, fire engines, upgraded equipment, among several other things. And I did reach out to the new fire union president about the signing of the contract, but he was unavailable today to provide a comment. Live at City Hall, Yasmina Alston, Atlanta News First.